Okay, Dark Mirror. It's another one of those psychological thriller movies that's based around there being some sort of alternate universe on the other side of a mirror. Yeah, kind of like Mirrors and Mirrors 2. With this one though, since it's a little bit more of a lower budget, it does a lot more in the psychological ideas. You're not going to see any bizarre violent deaths. Essentially, you have a photographer, husband, and child move into this house. So lots of ornate mirrors and ornate glassware. She takes a photo one day inside the bathroom. The bathroom has a mirror and a mirror, so you get that weird like super strobing effect. And then they show the light going off in a bathroom with nobody in it. She says she's seeing these really kind of weird, creepy images only while looking through glass and looking at mirrors. In the bathroom, she sees, you see one door. Then if you look a little more to the left, you see a second door in a hallway that doesn't actually exist. So therefore, in the mirror universe of the house, there's a second doorway. And then all of a sudden, she's taking photos of people. And she doesn't really remember taking photos most of the time because her camera occasionally just randomly goes off. And those people end up being mysteriously missing. Whether it's, like a neighbor or some random person she takes a photo of. So anyone she takes a photo of ends up dying. And ends up dying from some bizarre guy in a slicker. Like a rain slicker. Her and her mother get together and decide to actually, research some of the past of the house. They find out that a painter used to live there. The painter who kind of was passed over as not being very good, until all of a sudden one day they moved into the house, him and his wife. And his art became really fantastic. Well, she then finds out that it wasn't actually the husband who was doing all the painting, it was the wife. And that's when the mystery really starts to kind of go back and forth, and it's pretty decent from a psychological standpoint until it lasts like 15 minutes. That's all of a sudden when it seems to just throw a bunch of different scenarios into it that all kind of make sense, but it's kind of one of those, all right, we're doing really good for the first hour, yeah. We gotta wrap this up in 15 minutes. Oh, this, and this. Okay. And then we're done. And the great thing about the movie is, it ends the way it begins. So what you see in the very first scene is actually what you see in the second to last scene as well. So you get to see kind of a bit of the aftermath, and then you get to see actually everything that leads up to that moment. And then what happens after it. If you liked Mirrors and Mirrors 2, this one kind of falls in a similar pattern as those two. You can tell it is a lower budget, so it's nowhere near as violent. No one's like tearing their head in half or having their head cut off. Pretty much you see what's leading up to the death, and then you see the body afterwards. You see somebody essentially in a pool of their own blood and someone who's been stabbed repeatedly. So don't expect to see any, there's no, or like glass falling and decapitating people. This is more of a psychological version of it. So think about Mirrors, but on a lower budget.